And congratulations that we are all getting involved in this green activity where we would like to have composting done. I thought initially for some time I would just give you an overall view about earthworms, about composting, and then we can go in for all the questions which you people may have in mind and we could interact with it. Basically, what I would like to you people to understand, everyone to understand, that if you want earthworms, there are 3 types of earthworms. In the entire world, we can classify earthworms into 3 types. One which live on the surface of the soil. These are the worms which are the composting earthworms. They eat organic matter and then they produce manure. The second variety of earthworms are those which make burrows. They keep moving up and down like this in the soil. They are excellent for the soil. They also produce some compost, but they are very good for the soil because they aerate the soil, they activate the soil, they contribute a lot to the soil. So when I take earthworms, these 3 types of earthworms, the top, the middle, and the bottom worms. Usually for composting purposes, we use the surface worms because they are active. They consume and then they excrete. Now the question may come to you as to which earthworm should I use. Now even in Goa, you may sometimes find good earthworms. Native earthworms. Like for example, if you have a place where people have dumped a lot of cow dung or organic matter, which is decomposing, and if you start moving over there, you will be able to see some worms. These earthworms are very good. No, sir, we are not interested in that. There are some other earthworms that are very good composting exclusively. In which case, there are 2 varieties of earthworms. In this, there are the red wrigglers, which are very common in Goa and other places. North India people have been using in Pune. The red wrigglers are all scientifically called as Icenia fetida. This is one variety. The other variety, which is very, very common, is the African night crawler, which is Eudrilus eugenei. Eudrilus eugenei. These worms are also very common. They are very good composting earthworms. So either you can buy these earthworms and then compost, or you can use the local worms and then you can multiply them. Many people again have a doubt, like how many earthworms should I use? How many males I should use? How many females I should use? Now in this one particular thing, what is good is in earthworms, there is no separate male and separate female. Every earthworm has male and female in it. So you need not try to search or look for which is male, which is female, number 1. Number 2, even though male and female is present in every earthworm, they usually don't self-mate. They require a partner to mate. So even if you have 10 or 15 earthworms, you can culture them, you can multiply them. It is as easy as that. The best way or the simplest way to multiply is get some earthworms, take a container, any container. Please do not invest money in buying very major containers. There are advertisements that Vermi bins, khambas, 3,000, 2,000, all this is not required. Ghar pe pada hua kuch bhi ho, dabba, dagara, old balti, bucket, anything you have can, because we require something to hold the material, that's all. You don't need a fancy unless you have so much of money to spend on it and you buy it. That's your choice. But otherwise, any box. But one very important thing is you will have to put holes at the base. Holes. Water should not stagnate inside. Rule, very important rule. In whichever container you want to culture the earthworms, water should not stagnate inside. Why should water not stagnate? Because earthworms, they respire by taking oxygen from the water, just like the fish. So water has dissolved oxygen in it. Just like fish gulp in this dissolved oxygen, in the same way, earthworms use oxygen, dissolved oxygen from the water through their body surface, which is very moist. So in case there are no holes and there is organic matter in that, and you keep on adding water, then what will happen? The organic matter will decompose. When decomposition happens, oxygen will deplete. It will become like a sewage and the earthworms will die. So please remember, water should not stagnate in a vermiculture box. This is very important, number one. Fine. I have made the holes. You can put little bit of pebbles at the base. Just like we create for any pot, flowering pot or anything, we put this pebbles so that water doesn't clog. In the same way, some black stones or any pebbles. But usually we avoid bricks. We avoid brick because brick is made from clay. And over a period of time, the brick may dissolve or break into pieces, and this clay may clog the holes. So as far as possible, please avoid bricks, black stones, pebbles, little bit of coarse sand, not very fine sand, coarse sand. That becomes the basal layer. Now, above this basal layer, you put decomposed organic matter. Now, what is decomposed organic matter? Any leaves and a little bit of gobar, everything which is lying over there, it has gone through a period of heat and which is lying over there. So you will take that material, that is very important, which has lost its heat. Those who have an agricultural farm, if you are asking me a question, how do you know, or how do I know that it has lost its heat? The best thing is take a polythene bag, ordinary polythene bag, this shopping bag. Whatever organic matter you have, put it into it. Wrap it up. Keep it in a corner for about 24 to 36 hours. 24 to 36 hours. Take the bag, open it, put your hand inside. If it is warm, it means it is not yet decomposed. If it has lost its heat, that means it is ready. Now put this material inside. So what we have seen that we have taken a container like this. We have taken a container. Anyway, I'll also send you some pictures. Container. And in this container, we have made the holes. We have put pebbles. We have put a little bit of sand. We have put this material, about 4 to 6 inches of this material. Collect whatever earthworms you have and put those earthworms inside. Just put the earthworms inside. They will start moving around. They will start eating. They will start moving. Now, once they start moving, take one dry cow dung cake. Dry cow dung cakes nowadays are available even on Amazon and Flipkart. So you get this dry cow dung cake and keep it on the top. They enjoy it. Keep it covered with a ordinary jute bag or a cardboard. Don't use plastic. So these worms will start eating the dry cow dung, and slowly they start multiplying, and that is your main culture unit. Whenever you are doing vermicomposting in a large scale, for those who are doing at home, I can understand. But those who have a farm, those who feel that you want to do it in a bigger way, you must not keep buying earthworms every time. You must multiply worms yourself. So you have a unit called as a vermiculture unit. Take. The second thing is we take the composting unit. Now, when I tell about composting, those who wish to do it in a larger scale first. If you want to do composting in a larger scale, many people make the mistake of putting organic matter, putting cow dung into it, and then adding earthworms into it. Please always remember that when you take any organic matter and you add cow dung into it, it starts generating heat inside. So when you add earthworms at that stage itself, then the heat will kill the earthworms. That's how many of you lose the earthworms. Either you lose the earthworms by putting them along with without making holes, or you put earthworms along with the entire biomass, which means it starts generating heat and the earthworms die. So if I want to do composting, I must first have a decomposed material. That is called as biodung composting. The entire procedure I have given in my website. I will also send it to you when we talk to each other. Now, anything to decompose, we require some amount of microbial inoculum. Now, this is one more business where people say that they will sell inoculum and you buy inoculum. In my experience, I started composting in 1979 as one of the pioneers to start vermicomposting in India. So in 1979 and the 80s, when we started working, To my knowledge, the best microbial inoculum is cow dung. Just take cow dung, dissolve in water, sprinkle. Immediately you may say, Sergi, I'm staying in the city, I'm in Panjim, I'm in Mapusa. Where can I get cow dung? And second is, I don't want cow dung in my home. Khatta dahi, curd which has gone very sour. You leave curd for 3-4 days on the table, it will become yellow on the top. Now this curd has very good microorganisms in it. It has lactobacilli. It has many other type of microorganisms which can help in the composting process. So you can use this as an alternative, put it over it, allow it to compost, allow it to generate heat, and then you can do vermicomposting very easily. This is the basis. Those who want to do at home, I want to give you some examples. Let me very clearly tell you, very simple ways, very, very simple. First, I will tell you the simplest method without earthworms. Please take 7 flower pots. 7 flower pots. Label them. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 7 flower pots, 7 days of the week. ठीक है ना? No doubts. Should I buy flower pots? No, I am telling example flower pots. You can use any containers which are at home. Is that clear? But see to it that there are holes. There are holes through which water will seep out. Flower pots automatically have holes. But if you have some old buckets, plastic buckets, you will have to put holes. Remember that. Then you put a little bit of stones, black stones, which are used to put for the roads, or pebbles, and little bit of coarse sand. So all 7 pots, they are having openings, and you are filled up with stones, and you have put up coarse sand. Now things are ready. Okay? Sunday. Please, whenever you start composting, start with vegetable material. Do not start with non-vegetable material. Because if you do not handle it properly, non-vegetarian material will start stinking. So first, learn to do composting with vegetable waste. Then you can slowly shift over to non-vegetarian waste. Is that clear? Thank you. Now what we do is, Sunday's vegetable waste. We all know, if I take one baingan and cook it as such, it takes more time to get cooked. Whereas if I cut them into small pieces and then cook, it cooks faster because the surface area has increased. In the same way, if you have bigger pieces of organic matter or this vegetable waste, chop it into smaller pieces. ठीक है. Now मेरे पास container है. ठीक है भाई, container मेरे पास आ गया. There are holes in the container. पानी नहीं रुकेगा. I have taken the stones and the sand is inside. So this is Sunday. Sundays, I take the vegetable waste, I will put it inside, scatter it. Oh yeah. Now I have to add microbial inoculum. So how will I add microbial inoculum? Take a little bit of cow dung, dissolve in water, and then sprinkle it. No sir, I don't have cow dung. Take khatta dahi, dissolve in water and sprinkle it. No khatta dahi, very overripe fruits. I'll teach you how to do it in a later slide, later portion of this. We call it as FEM, farmers effective microorganisms. I'll teach you how to do it. You can take that and then just sprinkle it. ठीक हो गया? Any one of the 3. Then take a little bit of soil and put it on the top. Only 4 things you are adding. The stone and sand only once. The waste has been added. Sunday's waste alone. And then you have taken this khatta dahi or cow dung or fruit juice and sprinkle. Little bit of soil, sprinkle. Ye Sunday, chala gaya. Monday's pot. Same way, already this there stone, you'll just add the organic matter. Tuesday in Tuesday's pot. Wednesday in Wednesday. Thursday in Thursday. Saturday in Saturday. You come back to Sunday pot after 7 days. In these 7 days, already composting has started. समझ में आ गया? So I'm going to add again on top of it. Without disturbing, I'm just adding the second Sunday's waste, little bit of khatta dahi or cow dung mixture or fruit juice, little bit of soil. Sunday gaya. Monday repeating the same way. So in 1 month, in this Sunday pot, I have added 4 times, average. 1 month, I have added 4 times. I can take a stick. And then mix it up. Not till the stones, only the organic matter, mixing it up. Okay? Continue to add the next Sunday. For a normal small family, depending on the size of the pot, an average flower pot of about 12 inches and 10 inches diameter, it takes 3 to 4 months for all the 7 pots to get filled up. आगे बात समझ में? 3 to 4 months. Full हो गया. अब ये full है. When it is full, what will I do? Just take a stick, mix it again, sprinkle some water on it, leave it for another 10 to 15 days. Now this pot, 7 pots, these pots contain soil, organic matter, microorganisms, and compost. All the 7 pots are having it. Just take seeds. In one pot, put bhendi seed. In another pot, add baingan seed. In the third pot, add tomato seeds. And your organic garden is ready in your own house. Very simple. नहीं सर, pots तो ठीक है. Without pots, क्योंकि गोवा में हमारे पास मिट्टी रहती है. There is surrounding soil. Can I do something over there? Yes. Yes, you can. You can. You just feel that this is the platform. This is the soil. This is the soil. Now in this soil, take a scale. Don't take a scale roughly. Take 3 feet. 3 feet diameter. So 3 feet diameter, you make a circle. Round बना दिया. Right? 3 feet diameter, make a circle. अब ये circle बनाने के बाद, start digging it. You know, like a frying pan, kadai jo banate na, jo frying kadai. In that shape, in the middle, it should be 1.5 feet deep. In the center, 1.5 feet deep. Gradually tapering. And jo mitti hum nikalenge, just put it on the periphery of the circle. So you have a circle. If I want to show it to you, I can show it to you something like this. Ye hai circle. ऐसा बना दिया जमीन में गड्ढा बना दिया and then whatever soil you are taking you are putting it on the side like this right. Day 1 when it is ready, there alone I may require a little bit of cow dung or organic material which you put in the middle. Add some water, leave it for about 10 to 15 days. Just keep adding water. Microorganisms multiply, happily they multiply. अब तैयार है आपका जगह. Right? After 15 days, take whatever organic waste you have, vegetable waste, put it here in the middle. Keep on adding. Keep on adding. Daily add. Just mix it over once in a way. यहाँ खाद बनता है. Compost ready. Now after another 15-20 days, ये जो bend है ना, surrounding circumference, on the inner side, you put saag, palak, hari dhania, and mint, pudina. On the outer side, put tomato, bhendi, and baingan. So what happens automatically? Compost is getting ready here. The roots automatically go, and you are getting plants on one side. So on one side, you are preparing your organic matter. First, remember, you are not handling waste. You are not going to manage waste. You are not handling waste. You are handling resource. You are handling a resource. So the resource material is here and the plants are here. The roots automatically go and the plant starts growing. This is the second one. The third one, which I would like to say, is composting. vermicomposting. In vermicomposting, as I told you already, that's the common composting earthworm. That's the common composting earthworm. This is Utrellus ugini, which is commonly used. Now, these worms are all very, very harmless. So don't get upset about touching a worm or anything like that. These are all very harmless creatures. You can see the worm yourself. Right? Now, these are surface worms. And surface worms will be very sensitive. So you can use these worms. You can use these worms and you can do composting. Okay, sir, I want to do vermicomposting at home, but I can't be doing with 7 pots. Can you tell me how to do it with 1 pot? Instead of a pot, I will appreciate a crate. Something which is rectangular, which has more surface area. So supposing I take a crate, right? A crate, crate may always holds at the base, little bit of pebbles, little bit of coarse sand. उस पे आपको पहले थोड़ा organic matter देना पड़ेगा. This organic matter should be your garden leaves which have already decomposed. Already they have become brown, they have become pieces. That you will give it as a base. If you want, you can also give some shredded paper. You can also put some decomposed coconut fiber. Choice is yours. Don't follow any procedure. You are the boss. Just put it over there, introduce the worms, and leave a little bit of cow dung on the top. A little bit of dry cow dung on the top. Allow them to multiply for about 10 to 15 days so that they settle down. And yeah, and you know, like once the crate is ready, then you, so every day's waste, don't load one above the other. If you dump too much of it, then heat will be produced. And this heat can destroy the worms. So you add one by one, gradually on one side, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. You keep on adding in that way. And gradually you will find that composting starts going on and the composting goes very well. So these are the basic things of composting. Apart from that, what I would appreciate is you can prepare your own liquid fertilizers. Liquid fertilizers, even though we have standardized using pumpkin, banana, and papaya, the procedure is there on my website itself. You can download it. You can use any fruits you have, except citric. Any fruits, especially banana fruit, and all those sort of fruits. Just take the fruits. If you have 250 grams of fruits, add 250 grams of jaggery. If you have 250 grams of fruit, add 250 grams of jaggery, mix it very well, put it in a plastic bottle. Please remember, plastic container. Do not use glass or a mud pot because it will crack. So please put inside a plastic container, add about 2 liters of water, close the lid carefully and shake it well. Every day take it, just shake it and keep it. A small container. If it is you are preparing 2 liters of water, the container should not be more than 4 liters. If you are having a 10-liter container, you can prepare at least about 6 liters of this liquid. Okay? So you shake it and keep it. You will find that the container starts bloating up. It starts bloating up because of fermentation. It's because of fermentation. And once it starts bloating up, if it's too much of bloating, just open, release, and then close it again. Now, once that is ready, it takes around 20-25 days. In 20-25 days, when you open and smell, it smells beautiful alcohol. Fermentation is complete. This liquid can also be used to initiate composting. This liquid can also be taken, diluted with water, 10% normally, and spray it on your plants. Your plants, your soil, and your plants will be beautiful. One thing you have to remember is, whenever you spray, you must spray it early in the morning or late in the evening, not when the sun is shining high. This is very important. Because you are in Goa and many of you will eat fish, because I also enjoy fish. Now, if you like fish and you have fish waste with you, this fish waste, take the fish waste. If you have about 100 grams of fish waste, mix it with about 100 grams of jaggery. Again, about half a liter to 1 liter of water. Mix it and leave it for some time, for about 15-20 days. This will again smell like alcohol. It's a lovely amino acid tonic, which is very good for your plants. Even eggshells can be used. So you have all these varieties which could be used and they could be spread on plants. And that you will get wonderful results. And only thing my request to you is, because I also saw some industry, some company people joining, there is a tendency today where people are selling composting machines. That is, which say that you can prepare compost in 24 hours. You cannot prepare compost in 24 hours. Those who sell machine to you, if you are running an industry and if somebody comes and tells you that they are preparing compost in 24 hours, my humble request to you is, please ask that person whether he was born in 10 months or in 10 minutes. Just like a process of natural development, in the same way, composting also takes time. If at all 24 hours, then feed all your organic matter to cattle. Cattle can give you dung. Dung can be used. So these are the things which I want you to remember. These are the basics of composting, and I would appreciate to answer questions which would be easier for me.
The first part of the questions are, which worms are more suited for home composting?
Sorry, it is not question of which worm. Any worm is good enough. Okay. Any earthworm is good enough. If you want faster action by earthworms, then people recommend Icenia fetida or Uterus eugenie. Whichever you are able to acquire over there, you can use it.
Okay. The another question is, what is the specific benefit of vermicomposting over conventional composting? What is it that the soil gets more? And whatever we get more, is it specific to specific plants?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Basically, what happens is, in an earthworm, supposing this is a worm, the earthworm, on one side, it sends its fecal matter, which is what is vermicompost. At the same time, it also passes urine, do ho gaya. Third one, it produces coelomic fluid, a liquid. And the fourth one, it also produces mucus. These four things accelerate the process of microbial activity in the soil. And we have analyzed, I'm talking to you as a former head of the Department of Biotechnology. We have analyzed the entire features of these compositions, and we have found plant growth promoter substances, something similar to indolestic acid, present in these things. So because of the plant promoter substances present over here, vermicompost usually provides better nutrient status to the plants than the regular compost. This is the only difference between the two.
Thank you, Professor, for that elaborate answer. Yeah, so one more question is, how fast do earthworms multiply? What is the speed?
Yeah, earthworms, like normally the life of this earthworm, which you are using for composting, an earthworm can live for about 1 year max. And during this 1 year, it keeps on producing generations. And in 1 year, theoretically, it can produce 1,000. It's young ones. Theoretically, but practically, it is not possible. Theoretically, it produces 1,000. Now, the procedural things are, there's a variation. Supposing you have exclusive surface worm. Exclusive surface worm produces more cocoons every season, and from each cocoon produces more number of young ones. That is, one cocoon can give birth to about 3 to 5 young ones, whereas the burrowing worm will produce 1 to 3 earthworms. Why? Because these worms are on the surface, birds may pick them away, eat them away. So they have to struggle for existence. Incidentally, today is Darwin's death anniversary. Struggle for existence. And that struggle for existence and the survival of the fittest, they produce more number of young ones. So surface worms, the multiplication is faster. Burrowing worms, the multiplication will be slower.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next round of question is, what do earthworms eat and what do earthworms don't eat? So specific questions in that are, do earthworms eat dry leaves and cow dung slurry only, or no? Is it okay to feed them chicken, fish bones, non-vegetarian waste, etc.?
Earthworms as such have no teeth or anything in their body. They don't have anything, any solid structure in the mouth, which we call it as the prostomium, which can, the stomium, the opening mouth, which can chew it. Actual what happens is when you put any organic matter, including your fish waste or anything, the moment you add them up into organic material, a large number of microorganisms start multiplying over there. It's the microorganisms and the microarthropods, they are the ones who start first acting on it. They prepare the material for the worm to consume. Worms don't directly consume these things. So it's something like they are the people who are the cooks who prepare the dish for the earthworms. This we will have to always remember. So bones may not immediately decompose. Sometimes what will happen is when you add bone, maybe when you harvest the compost, the bone will not decompose. So put the bone back. So twice or thrice or four times the bones will have to go back into the same material till they get completely broken down. This is what.
So to just another part of the same question is, no, would the earthworms survive only on leaf or garden waste?
It's not leaf or garden waste. Also remember that when the leaves are green in color, there is more nitrogen in it. When the leaves become brown, there is more carbon in it. It's a combination of these which prepares a balanced diet for the earthworms. The carbon nitrogen ratio should be 30, has to be 30. So what we recommend is you put all these things, you put cow dung, it decomposes first. Because when you have garden waste and cow dung, it generates a lot of heat in it. After the heat subsides, it is neither in the shape of a leaf or in the shape of a vegetable or in the shape of a fish. The whole thing looks like cow dung. It is this which the earthworm eats. Earthworm doesn't eat the leaf. This, please be very clear. Many people make this mistake thinking that I'll put the leaf, and also many people have told me, I will throw the leaf, I will throw the worm will eat it. How will the worm eat it? Worm doesn't eat it. So please remember those handling in bulk, because Goa, lots of people have gardens, big gardens also. If you have a garden, collect the leaves, put cow dung into it, allow it to decompose, lose its heat. Now, if you want me to tell you how to know whether the heat is present or not, take a stick, wooden stick. You have the compost pile which you have created, and put this stick into the pile. Leave it for about 10-15 minutes. Take the stick out and touch with your hand. If it is warm, your material is not yet ready for the worms. If it has cooled down, your material is ready for the worms. That's all. Simple.
Thank you, Professor. The next questions, next set of questions are on maintenance and care of the composting pile
Okay.
or the vermicomposting pile.
Mhm.
One set of questions in that is about cats, dogs, rodents, insects, ants. So how do you protect these vermis composting bin from these?
See, when you are having food, cats, dogs, rodents will definitely come. What we recommend people is, what I always recommend for domestic use are those waste bins itself, the cement waste bins. My design includes just put black stones at the base, put black stones at the base. Suppose the black stones are all been put on the base, then take a bin and keep the bin on the top. Again, put some amount of stones in the side and inside the bin. Keep it covered with a mesh. That is how you can protect them. Because you cannot say that I am keeping it in the open, I'll keep everything open, and still dogs should not come, dogs will disturb, cats will disturb. Snakes may come, even centipedes can come, rats can come, rodents can come, bandicoots can come, because it is food for them. So if I want to protect it, I must have a tank or a container which will hold it. Yeah.
Another question in the same category is how, if we go for a vacation for a few days, how much, like some 4 5 days, 8 days you are not there in house. So how do you ensure that the worms have enough to survive?
That's very, very simple. Like what we designed for schools, because even schools, the weekends are holidays, is whichever container you are having this composting unit be there, take a mud pot. Take a mud pot. The size of the pot depending upon the number of days you are going to be away. Take that mud pot, and bury the mud pot into the compost unit till the neck of the pot, till the neck of the pot. The neck should be projecting out. The outer region should be projecting outside the compost unit. Pour water inside the pot. Fill it up. Close it. You go on your vacation. The base of the pot will always be pushed. So the worms will come and completely sit down under this. So even when you go out, the worms will be happy. When you come back again, water it, they will start working again. That's the simplest way we have to handle these things. Or you have to ask your neighbor to keep watering them. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, so another question is there is a tendency of the worms to form like a ball and trying to jump out of the bin for 1 week. So is there any what is this how what is the problem?
Yeah, they don't follow your lockdown rules. They don't follow your lockdown rules. They don't follow your lockup rules. They are beyond rules. Basically, because the like when the material which you have prepared is not kept properly. If it becomes too sour or too acidic, they will try to go away from there. And usually they become a ball only when the situation is very bad. It's an indicator that there is something wrong. It is something like we are also there at home in different rooms, and suddenly in the night you hear a sound. All the family members club together in one corner, like koi aa raha hai, yaar, chor aa raha hai, right? So in the same fear complex, these organisms also display, and they all come and combine into a ball. The rolling up into a ball depicts an adverse condition for the worms. So either they have added too much of acid material into it, उसमें से थोड़ी सी acidic की बो आ रही है. अगर इस तरीके का आ रहा है, तो ये जो चुना है ना, ordinary chunam, which are used to mark football fields and other places, तो उसको थोड़ा पानी में घोल के ऊपर छीटा दे दो. It will become normal. Or if it is becoming too alkaline or alkaline, take little bit of good, dilute in water and just sprinkle it. They will go back into their positions. Usually worms don't like if it is excessive moisture. One major problem I have faced with many young composters is they develop a fear कि मैंने पानी सही दिया, अगर पानी सही नहीं दिया तो ये मर जाएंगे, तो ये मर जाएंगे तो उसका पाप मुझे लग जाएगा, और उनको पानी पिला पिला के ही मार देते. I hope it's clear to you, right? Don't overwater the units. Don't overwater the units. Like worms love water, but if you put too much of water, the water loses its oxygen. It becomes a sewage. Hypoxic condition starts, and the worms die. And they come up on the surface. They ball themselves. In case you watered too much, and if you want to have an emergency, take some newspapers and put it into it. Absorb the water and remove it. That's the best way you can do it. And once in a way, turn it over. If it is too thick, just use a prongs and then slowly turn over the material so that air starts going inside. That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, thank you for that elaborate, very humorous way of answering that question, sir. One more question in the same category is about the pesticides and the fertilizers that may be present in the food or the vegetables and the fruits that we eat. So when those peels are not introduced in the composting.
Abhinav, if you have survived, they will also survive.
Okay, thank you. That answers that. So thank you so
much. You are not going to add something more than what you have eaten. So you are going to, I just think is wash the peels and everything before you put it over there. That's all. Yeah.
So one of the participants is asking a question as to how do you prevent the vermicomposting bin from getting compacted? My bin gets very compacted. Then I have to add coconut coir along with the waste.
It's compaction. This is what I was saying. Compaction is one of the dirtiest things which can happen in a composting unit. And what that person has asked is a very valid question. Now, it's compaction because they have kept on adding material, especially if there is material which is too much of carbon rich. जैसा कि चावल ज़्यादा हो गया या cooked food ज़्यादा हो गया या water ज़्यादा हो गया, so the whole material will get caked up. You should never allow the material to get caked up. So the best way would be to just prong it or use some sticks and keep on turning over gradually, make it loose. That is enough for you. If you're going to add coconut husk into it, my only request to you would be, if you're adding coconut husk, see to it that you add a little bit of cow dung or cow's urine along with it, because coconut husk is 100% carbon, it is lignin, and lignin will take a lot of time to decompose. So lignin, if in the same watery conditions, if you leave lignin, again it will convert into a sewage. So you see to it that if you add too much of coconut fiber, you add little bit of gaumutra or something into it, or some nitrogen-rich material into it, which will help you. That would be my advice to you.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is, one of the participants is getting more of maggots and less of earthworms in his pile. So, and also no red ants and black ants. And so, how do you control that?
These two I will talk differently. His question of maggots is always the problem faced by many people who start composting as a first hobby. It's absolutely, don't worry about it. You have taken over protection of your unit because of over care of it and moisture, and you have added more fruit material or something into it, which has attracted flies. These flies lay their eggs over there, and those eggs become maggots, nothing else. So if they are coming, that means your unit is moving towards an anaerobic condition. The air content, the oxygen content is decreasing. That is what it amounts to. So please see to it that you turn it over a bit, little bit, loosen it up, and don't add water for some days. Don't add this material for some days. Then it will become all right. As far as ants are concerned, usually many people feel that ants are coming because ants will come for two reasons. One is because of the moisture, and in this dry weather, they get attracted to it. The best remedy, which I by experience felt, was just take 100 grams of chili powder, lal mirchi powder, 100 grams of turmeric powder, haldi powder, 100 grams of salt, यानी के 100 ग्राम मिर्ची पाउडर, 100 ग्राम हल्दी पाउडर, 100 ग्राम नमक, इन तीनों को जो है अच्छा मिला लीजिए आप. मिला के इसमें पानी थोड़ा सा डाल के, like a paste, you can apply it around your bin or make it slightly dilute and pour it around the bin, not inside the bin. And the worms, to a large extent, can be, the ants can be restricted from coming to the space. This is what has been my personal experience handling ants.
Thank you, Professor. Another question in the same category is about seasonality in hot summer and in the monsoon season. Is there any specific care that has to be taken for vermicomposting?
Just like they also feel very sultry during summer, and mating also goes down. Those who have been handling composting for a longer period of time, you will find that your worm population goes down during summer a bit compared to what happens during the monsoon. In quotes, it's a romantic season for them. Now, what I would appreciate is don't overwater them during the winter period, and please see to it that you're keeping it moist during the summer period. So during summer, always use this ordinary cardboard आता है ना, अट्टा, ये जो packing materials में आता है cardboard, which you are not going to use. Please put that cardboard on top and water it on the cardboard. It's an excellent insulation. It has enough carbon. Your worms will be happy and the work will be smooth. Or you can use this sort of gunny, jute sacks. So you can use this sort of jute and just put it over there. That also can be used as sort of a cover. But jute को कौन लेके आएगा? घर पे तो आजकल ऑनलाइन में शॉपिंग करते हो तो कार्डबोर्ड आपको कॉर्नर्स में मिलता है. तो वो कार्डबोर्ड आप इसमें यूज कर लीजिए.
Next set of question is on the liquid fertilizer. So they want to understand more about the proportions, what kind of leaves can be used for this liquid fertilizer, know more about that foliar spray and the fish amino.
Basically, you ask your grandma at home, and she will tell you that, especially in places like Goa and our own places, we all know that what we used to do, our grandmothers will tell, okay, bhai, whenever we used to wash fish, we will pour the water in the plants because the plants will grow well. The same thing scientifically we have developed something, that's all, nothing else. Instead of putting water every time, we collect all the waste, we add jaggery, and it becomes fish amino because it has rich amino acids. Fish is known for its amino acids. Similarly, whether it is the fruit juices, they also have amino acids which we spray. Please understand, that once upon a time we thought that food has to be provided to the plant only through the roots. Modern science tells us that you can also feed the plants through the stomata. Every leaves have openings, and these openings are called as stomata. That's the reason I told you have to spray in the morning, early morning or late evening. Now, early morning and late evening, these mouths are open. इनके open होते, lips open होते. So when you spray, the nutrients can go inside. During the heat, when the sun comes up, they close because they don't want water to go outside. So there's no point spraying after 9:30, 10 or 11, 12 o'clock peak heat. There's no point spraying it. Normal thumb rule for any foliar spray is 10%. But there are some differences. If you're using Panchakavya, we prefer 3% to 5%. For all other homemade preparations, almost about, 10% holds very good. My humble request to you, आप कुछ भी सब्जी ले लीजिए, आपके पास जो भी सब्जी है ले लीजिए, जो घर पे नहीं खाएंगे, सड़ गया है, it has become overripe, तो उसको आप ले लीजिए, उस सब्जी को लेके उस पे जो है आप गुड़ मिला के आप फर्मेंट कर दिए. Now you don't know whether it is a good fertilizer or not. You do not know, but you have prepared it. Excellent, you are a scientist. Just do one thing. Take a bottle, glass bottle, slightly tall bottles, right? Small bottles, tall ones. इस पे you pour that liquid which you have prepared, 10%. इस पे यहाँ तक डाल दीजिए. And keep an onion. वो onion को ऊपर रख दीजिए. The onion will start growing roots. If the onion you are having is small, then pass a stick through the onion and keep it on the top. The onion will start growing roots. If the roots are growing thick and long, you have developed a fertilizer for yourself. Don't ask anybody. Each one of you should start thinking, मेरे पास ये चीज है तो इसमें से क्या बना सकता हूं मैं. The best is microbes को multiply करना है. Microbes को अगर multiply करना हो तो उसको गुड़ चाहिए, sugar चाहिए. तो take some amount of गुड़ और ये दो भी मिलाने से आपको it will become a paste. ये पेस्ट पे कुछ नहीं होगा. So you add water, fermentation start होगा. Keep the lid closed. Otherwise flies बैठ के उसमें भी maggots आ जाएंगे. Keep it closed. Shake it for about 15-20 days. रोज सुबह में shake करो, रख दो. After about 20-22 days, open it. Beautiful alcohol smell. Filter it, take it, keep an onion, check it up. Yes, working very well. Spray it. You are the boss. That's all. If you want pest repellents, that is different. Especially for pest repellent, we recommend that if you have a garden, grow marigold along with it. Marigold plants attract pests to come towards them and they protect the other crops. Or the best thing I used to tell people is ask Professor Goat. Goat is an excellent animal. Whichever plant a goat does not eat, if you have, just keep observing which plant a goat is not eating. Take 2-3 varieties of those plants, crush them, put them in a container, add water, mix it up, leave it for fermentation for about 10 to 15 days, decant it, this liquid, dilute it, spray it, you have a broad spectrum pest repellent in your own home. Don't need to go and ask a professor of botany to identify what you have used. If you know the plant what you have used, if you can identify it again, or if you have a mistake, ask Professor Goat. That is enough.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that very elaborate answer, Professor. Last two questions. One is how do we prevent ants which are already inside our pile? No, or not to how do they remove? How do we remove them? Like, is there any way of removing the ants which are already in the pile?
Yeah. Is it a vermicompost pile or a non-vermicompost pile?
A vermicompost pile.
Vermicompost pile means it's difficult to remove the ants because you will have to. I would advise that you take it, remove it, and reset it again. And while resetting, see to it, because what happens is sometimes ants they build up big colonies inside. And what would be the density of ants in that unit, I do not know. If there are only few, then you keep it, see to it that you don't over moisture it and keep stirring them very frequently. They may move out. Otherwise, it is better to reset the unit.
Professor, we are right now growing this into a like we want to do it as a citizen movement. So, what would you suggest? No, is are this has question. This question has two parts to it. One is A and one is B. The A part is there any sort of experiments we can do as a group? Like we are almost a 400 close to 400 community which are into composting. Some of them are into vermicomposting. So, is there any experiment that we can do as a group, or any different experiments that we can do as a group? And second is, how do we scale this up to to reach maybe 1,000 this year, 5,000 next year? How do we scale this up? If we could want to understand from your guidance.
Yeah. Before I go to it, there has been a very good question which flashed on my screen. Somebody asked as to how to know when the vermicompost is ready. If you are handling vermicompost, then worms eat every day and shit every day. So what they shit is compost. And please be very clear, there are two terms. One is vermicast, one is vermicompost. Abhinav, did you have your breakfast?
Yes, sir.
What did you have today for breakfast?
I had poha.
See, you said only poha. You never told me that you used it with chutney or pickles or ketchup or other things. You said only poha because that is the dominant one. So,
Okay.
vermicasting is what the worm sends from its fecal end. That is vermicasting. Whereas vermicompost is a combined action of all organisms, including microarthropods, insects, ants, everything working in that unit produces the vermicompost. Now, vermicompost is produced every day, they are selling it. So, once you see it, you take it, the vermicompost is ready. So, it is not that you have to wait for so many days. If you want to wait and harvest, normally for a given quantity, it takes around 20 to 30 days for a harvest period. This is an example for them. The second one, as you say, Abhinav, is how to take it forward in the community. Community is give them a choice as to whatever composting they would like to do. If let them do composting, let them do bucket composting, let them do vermicomposting, it is their choice. Let them feel comfortable. That's very important for us. And second thing is it's escalating it or taking it numbers. I would appreciate now that you have started by 2020, you have a target because of all this lockdown and periods where people would have had more time to get involved into this actually. So in case, or some people might not have been able to concentrate due to various reasons, it is better that you say that rather than the quantity of people doing it, the quality of material that can be standardized during this period, at least till September, would be a better target for us. So even if these 400 people, all the 400 are able to say, yes, we have been able to produce something which gives me satisfaction. This I'm giving it to my plants and my plants are growing very well. That could be a very good target. Between September and December, we can have a sort of discussions and increase because once they come to know their own friends would like to start it, and then the whole thing multiplies into a sort of a pattern. That would be my suggestion.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
One last question. I think it got missed out in the whole thing was no. How do you harvest the compost? Now you know that when you have to harvest, but how do you actually harvest the compost from the worms? Like how do you separate the worms and the compost?
There are two ways of doing it. One is removing compost every 2-3 days when it is formed on the top. Those who are doing vermicompost. Those who are doing vermicompost, one more thing, let me tell you, the more loose your material will be on the top, you will not be able to see the castings on the top. So my humble request to those who are doing vermicompost, if you are doing it in a container, leave half the container. One half, you try to pat on it a bit so that it is very smooth. After the second or third day, go and see there, you will find a lot of castings on the top. You can start harvesting. But if you feel that I would like to harvest once in 20-30 days, then stop watering. Don't water. The worms need water. So as it starts drying on the top, the worms will start going down, down, down towards the water. Then you take the hole on the top, remove it. You may get 1 or 2 worms, it doesn't matter. You can take it, you can use it. and the bed will have more amount of worms now. Start adding material on the bed itself. Again, they will start multiplying and coming on the top and eating again. That's the simplest way you can handle the worms.
Thank you, Professor. I think we have got enough to munch on for us, the next at least 4, 5, 6, 10 months
Yeah.
to and on this immense knowledge that you have provided to us. And on behalf of all the participants of this session, and also about from the entire composting community of Goa, I know thank you for your time and for your guidance that you have provided in this session, and we look forward to reaching out to you for more guidance from you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I got some affectionate remarks also coming up by me. Thank you very much, and thanks for the entire team. Good luck to you all. Stay safe, stay home during this period, and all the best.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.